Hello and welcome to the Rough Characters podcast. I am Philip Overby,
And I am John Palladino.
and today we're back with another episode. And if you've watched previous episodes, thanks for doing so. And we'll be continuing to try to release episodes every week. So you can watch the video here on YouTube, or you can listen to the audio if you're listening to it via those avenues. Today, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite special abilities or talents or spells or whatever you want to call them. But essentially, some kind of thing we like to see that is not normal. So you could call it supernatural ability or mutant ability or magic ability or whatever you want to call it. John has some news first before we get into the main topic. What are you like to talk about today?
By the time this goes live, this is going to be kind of old, but it just happened like yesterday. And that's new game just came out, Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Uh,
Have you seen anything about that?
I just saw something uh, like posted about it, and it had something zero. I don't know what that meant. Is it getting bad
I
reviews or something?
Oh my god, it's getting destroyed.
Um,
Absolutely destroyed. You really should see game footage of it sometime. It literally looks like a PlayStation 1 game. It's so bad. Gollum looks terrible. And oh man, it sounds like such a boring game. It's terrible. I don't know.
yeah,
Uh,
I haven't heard anything about it until just a couple, maybe today or yesterday. uh, I just saw Gollum something or other, and then I saw zero. I didn't know what it meant.
the crazy part is that reviewers usually push through games. It seems like finish them, tell you why they hate them. Almost every single review I've seen has said I stopped playing this game at like 40 or 50% through. Like everyone is just not finishing the game. That's how bad it is. It's crazy. And I just can't believe that such an established IP has like such it's not unusual for an IP that's like Lord of the Rings to have like a really terrible game, but to be like this bad is like shocking to me, I feel like, especially with all the recent Lord of the Rings like stuff. Amazon has you can say whatever you want about the show. I thought it was terrible, but I don't think it was like this terrible. Like this is at least Rings of Power looked good. The writing, sure, I thought it was terrible. That's just my opinion.
Still
But
haven't
the
watched.
game, it doesn't even look remotely good. And I just find that surprising because I don't know. I guess the people that hold the rights probably got paid, so who cares, right? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's always interesting to me how pretty well established IPs. Um, I guess they have all these different developers they work with, so it just depends on who the developer is. Like,
Yeah,
I really like the I don't know what they're called, but it's like Shadows of Mordor or whatever. I mean,
yeah, I remember those.
it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I really like them. They're almost like an Assassin's Creed style uh, Lord of the Rings game, and
Yeah, I played the first one. I think I might have played the second one. I don't remember.
they got really good reviews for the most part. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe it just depends on what what the content is. Like maybe they're it's Gollum. So like,
Oh,
does
I can tell you
anybody?
why.
Okay.
I mean, I thought that there was a potential there, but the premise, I don't know the story that well, but something is, it's like Gollum gets captured by the enemies or something like that, and is put in this like prison or something. And like the whole first half of the game is literally doing like tasks that are so monotonous and like stupid. Like you just do like these daily chores, I guess. So like one day you have to go like collect the tags off like dead prisoners or something.
Sweep the
Like
floor.
yeah, another day you have to like hatch a bird for some reason that becomes your companion or something. It's the whole thing is really dumb sounding and apparently it's really boring. Uh Not to mention that the graphics are so bad. Um which, I don't play games for graphics, but um this is a next gen console game and
Well,
was
maybe
not
the
designed this way on purpose, I don't think.
maybe the plan is they release it and then they're going to patch it a lot, and then it's going to be
I
like
don't think they're
another.
gonna patch it a
It's
lot
going to be
because of
like
how
a.
bad it did.
It's going to be like a new Cyberpunk
I
game.
believe it's the lowest rated PlayStation game right now. I don't know. I I read that in an article somewhere, so I don't know if that's like PlayStation 5 or what that's stacked up against really. I don't know the specifics, but I do know that somehow in some way it's the lowest rated. I can't imagine there's not a game that's rated lower though. There probably is somehow, but uh, if you're looking at all PlayStation games, but yeah, it's bad. The Let's look reviews. So GameSpot gave it a 2 out of 10. I think IGN, I think I read, gave it a 4, which is shocking for both of those because you know how they are. They don't usually grade things like that low. It's bad for business if they do that.
Well, we kind of have to put all this into context because like John hates Tolkien, so like
I mean, I do hate Tolkien, but I
this is
actually have not had a problem with like some Lord of the Rings games.
okay.
Yeah, no, this is not a me thing. This is like the world. I was shocked, honestly, to see how bad this game was. When
Mm.
the game was announced, I was like, I don't think it'll be that great. But um I did not expect it to be like absolute trash.
Well, kind of tying into today's episode, like Gollum Gollum doesn't have any like abilities or anything, does he? Really? I mean, he can crawl around on the wall or something.
The
I
game is
mean,
supposed to be kind of a stealth game too, in some ways, I guess. But
oh,
I don't know. For me, if I was going to play a Lord of the Rings Gollum game, I would expect it to have some fun fighting elements because in the movies he is pretty proficient at like that, uh and it like more of like a sneaky kind of dexterous way.
hmm.
And then really I don't care so much about his abilities or mechanics, but the his personality and the story would be like what I want to play. And apparently that's awful. Just terrible. Uh I don't know. I guess the main villain is some made up character called the Candle Maker. I don't know. And there's a
Hmm.
bunch of like cinematics of the enemies talking that are really bad too, I guess. I don't really know. But that's kind of seems like it's becoming more regular now for like full AAA games that are full price just to be like really bad. And it's really annoying.
Well, now that John had his chance to shit on Tolkien a little bit,
I take my opportunities
every
whenever I
chance
can.
he gets, he's like,
That's
ah,
right.
I'm kind of
Got
in
him.
I'm kind of in the middle of the road about Tolkien. Like I like some stuff and don't like other
Right.
stuff. So it just depends. All right, so let's get into the main topic here. So one of the ideas that I had just kind of came to me suddenly, and I know you're not like a fan of anime or anything like that.
Correct.
Another thing you'd like to shit on probably. Um,
It's not that I like to shit on it, but I don't like it, and I don't understand why people like it. But I would never, I even with Tolkien, I would never insult or demean someone for liking it. It's just not my thing. But that's just me. For anime, it's more like the visual medium that I just it annoys me more than like I think if you like that, you like the art style. I assume, right? Like it would be kind
yeah,
of weird to be
well,
like, I hate this art style, but I love anime, and I don't like the like hand drawn aesthetic for basically anything.
well, it's not just an ability that's an anime, but like one of my favorite anime has this is one of the main features. And that's like kind of like I'm not sure what you would actually call this, but like an uncontrolled um like telekinetic power, kind of like a carry or a or in this case I'm talking about the character, his name's Tetsuo, and the anime Akira, uh or something like David Cronenberg movie Scanners, where people can like do shit with their brain and make people's heads explode or like throw them against the wall. Or like I've always thought that's like a scary ability. It's like like you can't
So like
actually.
Stranger Things too, I think, right?
Yeah, Stranger Things, yeah, has that. So yeah, I've always been interested in like kind of telekinetic abilities and like the ability to um just like do this and then somebody goes flying across the room or like make someone's head explode or something like that. um yeah, it's funny, like the movie Scanners. um it's like a 1980s movie, but Scanners is about these like people that are called scanners, where they can uh essentially use their minds to like make people, you know, kill people. So there's a guy as an assassin or something, he kills people. Kind of ties into the this is kind of a mild spoiler if you haven't seen The Boys, but there's a character in I think season 2 that's just making people's heads explode. Was that The Boys?
Yeah, that's the boys,
Yeah, okay.
and that is, yeah, that's a pretty crazy part. And then there's like the huge reveal of who it is,
Yeah.
which is shocking.
So yeah, I've always liked that kind of like uh thing, and usually it's not always like a innate power, like on Stranger Things. It's like a they experimented on people and that's how they got these weird powers
Right.
or something. um and it's kind of like that in Akira also. The somehow this boy collides with this ghost or spirit of this uh thing or whatever, and then but basically at the end of the movie he becomes this big giant like creature that's like, you know, his body keeps expanding because of the power and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's just like he's this giant
Uh,
like weird creature. um so I've always liked that, you know, characters that like can't control their psychic abilities or something. Like another good example would be what's her name from Mass Effect, the bald uh
oh, like
the bald
criminal.
woman. Yeah.
Why can't I remember? I love Mass Effect, and I should know this. All girl mass effect. We'll
Google.
find out.
Google.
Jack.
Jack. Yeah, yeah.
I had to. If I don't know, I will not be able to finish this podcast because I'll be so focused on trying to think about who that is.
But going back to scanners quickly, I think there's a scene in the movie where they're just both like doing this. It just looks like they're really constipated because there's no like special effects or anything. I mean, there's
Right.
practical effects where they're like veins are bulging in their head or whatever, but it's just funny. They're just going and then so yeah, that's my number one pick.
Yeah, my number one pick you'll be very familiar with because when we talked about doing this uh topic, you said it as an example, and that's summons.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love summons in any game. I love it. You know, Final Fantasy. I always loved like collecting them. But even more is like summoning pets in games and stuff. So like Diablo, you know,
Mm.
having like a horde of like undead or creatures or whatever. You know, any game where I can just summon a bunch of creatures, I'm like, yes, I love this shit. I don't know. I just love getting new summons, and I really love having like a horde of like things that are like fighting with me. I don't know. I just have always loved that, and it's so much fun to me. I don't know why, because theoretically it's really boring. Because in a game where you're like an action game, like your summons are fighting for you, and like your attacks are not as good as like someone else's. Like in Diablo, right? Like typically, if you have a bunch of summons, you don't really have other abilities because you have a limited amount of abilities. So then you're kind of relegated to basic attacks, and a lot of people probably think that's boring, but man, I love it.
Yeah, I've always liked that too, where it's kind of like you summon something and then you just stand back and ha 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 and watch while minions hack something to bits and go to the next thing and hack it to bits.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, the I always liked the summons in Final Fantasy, even from like the early games. Um because even like when you were playing on like a Super Nintendo or something and you did like a summon, there would be this like kind of graphic, the party would disappear, and then the summon would appear.
Yeah.
Um, that was always cool.
What game was it? I think it was Final Fantasy VII, maybe.
Mm,
That had a chocobo summon. That's really funny.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I don't know. It's just cool, I think.
Well, there's like the most stupidly ludicrous kind of summon ever. Well, there's two things, and they're both for Final Fantasy VII. Like Knights of the Round. Knights of the Round was like a secret summon you could get if you did like certain things.
Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing about that.
But literally all 12 whatever knights would appear and do something. So you're just like, Knights of the Round. All right, I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be back in like five
Yeah,
minutes.
that's the thing that really sucks about Final Fantasy is that the summon cinematics take forever every single time.
And then the other one's not a summon, I don't get. It's kind of a summon because I mean he summoned a meteor. Sephiroth's meteor spell, where it's like
Oh yeah.
the meteor goes through the planets and blows them all up or whatever. It blows up the whole solar system and then it reaches Earth, I guess.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
And then 9,999 damage. It's like, okay, you're just not just instantly dead. Like the planet should explode. But I always thought that was funny. It's like Neptune and Saturn and Jupiter all blow up, but your party's still
Yeah.
alive. Okay, yeah, that was probably one of my picks also kind of.
Oh, okay.
Um but um I think my pick, my next pick, kind of ties into what you just said. Um, and I guess like not necessarily summoning stuff, but like necromancy in general. Like I've always been interested in like bringing back the dead or talking to the dead or manipulating the dead somehow. And I always thought necromancers are kind of like a cool class, like in pretty much every system they're put in, because they have that kind of dark edge to them, but they're also like um, fun to play because of that. So
Right.
um, they're kind of creepy and gross, I guess. I mean, anybody that's like plays with dead stuff is kind of weird. Um, but just like of all the like magic schools, like in D&D or like most game systems or worlds or whatever, I've always found necromancy to be like kind of the coolest one. And when I first started DMing years ago, one of my uh, players was a necromancer, but he wasn't. I don't even think he was an evil necromancer, which he was just a necromancer. um, but I've liked the idea of them, and like in a current game I'm running now, necromancy is actually banned. So like people that use necromancy in the world can get arrested or executed for using it because it's like unnatural. I mean, all magic is unnatural, but specifically
Right.
unnatural. Um, and there was a really cool book that was about like a necromancer by Jesse Bullington. It's called The Enterprise of Death. It's like pretty gross book. It's like really gory and detailed kind of stuff about dead things, but like it's like a necromancer story that's not like a typical, doesn't feel like a typical story. And it
Right.
takes place in like our world, but it's like kind of like a medieval period or something.
Hmm.
And yeah, so if you want to read something really gross about necromancers, I highly recommend. It's an
What book was
interesting
that?
book, The Enterprise of Death.
Oh, okay.
It's by Jesse Bullington. He's also known as Alex Marshall. He did a series of fantasy books.
Yeah, I think you might have mentioned him in an episode once. He sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, I really like his world building and his characters, and it's not typical fantasy stuff to me. Um, so
Right.
yeah, he's probably one of my favorite fantasy people out there right now, I guess. Well, that's my second pick. What do you got next?
My second pick is kind of somewhat of like it's still kind of connected to summons, I think, but it's different. And that's like turrets or like some other physical ability. Like in some games, you can like throw out a turret and upgrade it in different ways through your abilities or whatever.
Oh yeah,
And I don't know why I always thought those were really cool. So like I think in Borderlands, there's a character that has a turret.
yeah,
There's I'm struggling to think of other examples, but I know I've played other games where like you can there's characters with like a turret or some other machine or something that
yeah,
attacks enemies, and then you can like get really different cool upgrades for it. And I like that because it's like you're building. It almost feels like you're building your own like machine. If there's upgrade like paths that you can choose, like sometimes you can change them into like a flamethrower, or sometimes you can change it into like a different type of gun or whatever. But I don't know. It's just to me it was always fun, and it's probably the same thing with summons. Like throw out like the turret, run behind it, and just let it start shooting everyone, and then you know you have your guns or your swords or whatever, and as people come in, then you kill the stragglers. But I don't know. I was really liked that mechanic a lot, or ability, whatever.
Yeah, I guess my character we were doing in the Starfinder campaign, we were playing Nesler. I guess that was kind of his goal, was to be able to have like all these like drones and turrets and
Right. Yeah.
barricades and shit, because he sucked. He couldn't do
That's
anything.
true.
He was just he throw grenades, but basically his whole concept was that he was an inventor, and he was going to have all these different gadgets doing different things. So that was
Man, I
one thing I
miss
liked
playing
about
that
that
game.
class. I think it's a mechanic class. Was it called something like that?
Yeah, I think so. He had a drone, and that was cool. Starfinder is such a fun game, but shit, running that stuff takes so much time and work.
Yeah. Sometimes I spread myself too thin with everything I'm doing, but I just kind of pick and choose things I want to do.
Right.
So yeah, I'm doing at least one game right now, and
Right.
we were kind of doing testing out different games here and there. We'd play a little bit of something.
Yeah.
Um, I like doing that. I like sampling different games, and like Starfinder was one of the games that had a lot of kind of difference to it because it was sci-fi, and the character builds felt kind of different. So you could do like
Yeah.
that, have a
The
character that's
loot
just
was
like,
really fun in that game too, I thought.
yeah, I like the idea of like you can't get weapons unless they're like the level related to you. That way people can't get like
Yeah.
overpowered crazy shit.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because you level up, and then like the stores level up too, and then you like have all these new options. And I know that that has nothing to do with this current podcast, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is I don't know what this would be called. I guess it's a kind of, it's not a summon.
Hmm.
It's like in D&D or something when you have wall of blades, or like a wall of fire, or
Oh, so like a construct, like, or
yeah.
like barrier or something.
Yeah, I've always liked those kind of abilities. Like I had a druid that I was playing. He had Wall of Thorns, and that was like a pretty badass spell. Like people walk into the thorns and they would just get like punctured like a bunch of times. Maybe like magical traps, I guess would be the idea. Or
Okay.
uh, glyphs you can put on something and like somebody touches it and blows their hand off or something. Like I like that idea of like kind of setting up things and then like people kind of walking into them or whatever.
Right.
And just traps in general I kind of like. There's a game called Deception that I really loved when I was younger. It was a PlayStation 2 game, I think.
Hmm.
And I don't know if they changed the name. I think they did change they changed the name to Trapped. I think it was originally called Deception, and then they changed it to Trapped. But the idea is you're this princess, and there are these people that are like invading your castle or something, and you basically put all these traps around the castle, and then like one by one, these, or sometimes in groups, these people will come into your castle, and then you kind of lure them, and then they had different types of traps. So they'd have like a wall trap where like the wall would push somebody and they whoa, and then they have a spring trap and it would launch them like across the room, and they go flying across the room, and then they hit the ground, and then you trigger this other trap and drop a boulder on top of their head. It was like you could do cool combos with the different traps.
That's
Um,
cool.
so yeah, I've always liked that kind of a bit. I don't guess it's an ability, but kind of like in magical versions of that. I like
Right.
to characters that can do that kind of thing. I
Yeah.
had, I had,
That's cool.
I had a cleric that had I forget what the spell was called, but some kind of divine guardian or something. And if like somebody walked in that sphere of influence that the guardian had, it would do like 5d6
Oh, okay.
holy damage or something. Just like, yeah, come
That's
on, come fight me, and then so that's probably my last pick.
mine is this isn't normally something I would say, but uh I played the Diablo 4 uh open beta a while ago, and it's just like this new addiction I think that's happened. I'm not even gonna play this class when the game comes out, but uh when I played the beta, I tested out the sorceress
Mm.
and or sorcerer, whatever. And the fire abilities were so cool.
Mm.
The like fire, like the flamethrower, it just looks so cool, and I just love like lighting things on fire in games
Yeah.
and just melting people with like a spray of fire or a fireball or something. I don't know. There's something that seeing it like with really good graphics, there's nothing that like awes me more than like really cool fire abilities. And my favorite is probably just like spraying fire from your hand and just seeing it just, like melt people basically. I don't know why. Uh I never picked like that type of class if there's options in games really. But my god, do I love seeing those and using those abilities.
Yeah, that's like uh in Skyrim. I like to be able to, maybe shoot fire out of one hand and shoot lightning out of the other hand and just like pew, 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 just like fry the
Yeah.
enemy. Um yeah, I guess I tend usually the first time I play through a game like Diablo or something, I usually choose like a melee class or a fighter class. But I think this time I'm gonna choose just straight up go with sorcerer or sorceress, whatever.
I'm
Because
going necromancer.
I always have fun with that kind of class, I think.
Yeah.
When I played Diablo 3, I think the second time I had a sorcerer or something. And yeah, it was really fun compared to I
Melee
guess.
classes in Diablo are so boring. I don't know why anyone would play them.
Yeah, I think I started with Barbarian just because
uh,
I
yeah.
wanted, I didn't want to go with anything, too goofy. So I was just like, that seems pretty straightforward. And I liked it okay. He's got like, I guess, like spinning ability or like rushing ability and,
Yeah.
does a lot of damage. But like just casting the spells is a lot more fun, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially for Diablo.
So that's probably what I'll play.
That game comes out in a few days if you pre-order the Ultimate Edition, I think. Comes out June 2nd. Or you can just be
Ooh,
patient because the servers are going to suck and you can get the regular version.
I'm gonna
Play it
be.
on June 6th.
I think I'm gonna wait because Final Fantasy 16 is coming out this month. By the time this is released, it'll be June, I guess.
That game.
Ah.
You know my feelings on the
Yeah.
Final Fantasy franchise, unfortunately.
But
Uh,
I'm gonna play it. So
Let me
uh,
know how good it is.
yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna do. I've been meaning to do more like reaction stuff to like some
Oh, okay.
trailers and stuff on this channel, like by myself. So I'm hoping to do some. I don't know if I'll do any like gameplay stuff, but just watching some footage from Final Fantasy 16 and maybe talk about it or whatever. So um yeah, just what I've seen of it so far looks pretty cool to me. Um, but like you said, I guess doesn't feel like. I mean, it's never going to feel like old Final Fantasy again.
It could, but they don't want to.
I mean, I just accept it.
I can't, Phil. I'm out
Um,
between Final Fantasy
the only
13 and 15. Ugh.
well, the only way I would be completely out is if they just completely shifted to like online or something.
Oh, like 14.
Yeah, because I'm just not
Everyone
into.
loves that game, but I just can't get into it.
Well, I just typically can't get into MMO,
Yeah, me neither.
whatever they're called.
MMOs. Yeah,
Yeah,
tried a
just
few. The only one I liked was Star Wars: The Old Republic. That one was fun.
I played a game years ago. I know this is kind of going off topic, but we're about to
We've
wrap
been
up.
off topic.
We're we're about to wrap up anyway, I think. So years ago, I want to say it was a Korean game, but you would control like three characters at the same time, and the vibe was like the vibe was kind of like a Renaissance style or something. I don't know what you would call it, but you were fighting demons and crap like that. But the characters had muskets and were like swashbuckler style.
That's weird.
And I really liked that game. I played it for a long time. I can't remember what it's called now, but I think you had three characters in your party and you could kind of switch between the three of them like whenever you wanted. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, so those are our
That was an
special
MMO,
games.
you said?
Yeah, it came out years ago. Um, I mean, it had to been.
Is it Granado Espada?
That sounds familiar.
It's a Korean MMO.
That that could be it, actually, because
It
that
was
sounds very.
released in February 2006 and came out to English in 2007. Wow, that's older than I would have guessed. But it says that you play as three characters instead of one.
Yeah,
Oh, yep. It looks like the swashbuckling aesthetic that you kind of mentioned.
yeah,
Um, so this is an old game, man.
yeah. I was playing it when I was in university. I think it was like, or right after I got out of university. So
That's still online. It's still online. That's pretty crazy.
yeah, usually those kind of games die. I mean, I figured it was gone by now, but that's cool that it's still going. It's the best one I've ever played. I don't know. I just liked being able to play the three characters and everything.
It just released in March of this year the German version of it, which is
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
This game came out in 2006 and they just released the German version of it. Um,
The
and they're
Germans
not,
are
as far as I
patient.
know, the last update was 2013, is what it looks like. So it's not like they're really,
Oh, okay.
well, that might actually be incorrect information. I don't know, but that's crazy
Mm,
that it's been on that long, I guess, especially because is that longer than World of Warcraft? I think World of Warcraft came out in
no,
2005, so
no, it's not. It's not.
2004.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
as old as that.
Yeah. I just I don't understand how people are still playing those games.
I don't know. All right. Well, I guess it's time for me to kill you.
It does seem like that's the plan of action here. What the hell am I fighting?
Well, you did say you liked fire, so I figured I'd give you a flaming skull to fight.
This I don't I'm not super familiar with these, but I remember being not happy with the name of them for some reason. So I feel like this is going to suck.
Probably. All right, let me check my stats here. D. What is the flame skull? Sorry, it's called flame skull. Neutral evil.
Well, close enough, really.
All right, let's do initiative and see what happens here.
All right. I'm gonna fuck this up again, I'm sure. I got 0.
0.
Yep. I rolled the 2 and I have a -2. Because my dexterity sucks balls, which is really annoying.
Wow. I got pretty shitty too, but not as shitty as you did.
Yeah. The random roll stat thing really screwed this character.
Yeah. All right, what can I do? I can use fire ray twice.
That sounds terrible.
Hey, you were just talking about how much you like
I know.
fire.
I do too.
It's a ranged spell attack +5 to hit. All right, what's your armor
I have an
class?
armor of 16.
It does 3d6 damage. All right, let's see. Maybe you'll get lucky here. Yep,
Okay, that's a miss.
that's a miss.
But he gets the second one.
What's your armor class?
16.
I think it says it's a +5.
Oh my god, did I just avoid 2 attacks somehow?
Yes, you did.
It's like almost a miracle.
Amazing. Now you get to actually attack.
I feel like yeah, I hit. I think. I'm guessing 23.
Armor class is 13.
I do 5 damage to him.
Okay.
Finally.
You heard
having
him.
decent luck, I think.
I might need to actually keep track of how many hit points he has.
That'd be funny.
In
I've
case
never had to do that.
in
I
case he
don't think you
actually
have either.
in case he actually does.
That'd be incredible.
All right, I might just roll shitty a bunch of times. I wonder if he have any other abilities. Oh, I can cast normal spells also. At 5th
Oh,
level spellcaster.
fuck.
Fireball.
Okay.
Let's
That would
cast.
really fit in with the theme of things, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's cast fireball.
Great. How does I could probably look at fireball.
You need a dex save, it says.
Yeah. All right.
Or
That's not good.
8d6.
13.
Dex saving throw. How do you determine if you passed
You
it or
should
not?
find you need the spell save DC.
It just says save, dex save. That's all it says.
Let me look up. What is it? Flame skull?
Fireball.
No, I meant the creature because each creature has their own
Oh,
spell save DC.
let me go back. Flame Skull.
Says spell save DC is 13.
Oh,
So oh my god, I saved.
well, shit.
So I take half damage, right?
You'll take 46 instead of 8d6. All right, well, I can still kill you with 46. It'd just be very hard.
It would be very hard. You need to roll
All sixes, right?
all sixes. Oh my god.
Well, I rolled 2 6s, 15 damage.
Plus. All right, 15 damage. Somehow I lived through that.
That probably would have killed you if you wouldn't have got the save.
Oh, you definitely would have killed me. All right. So then it's
Your turn.
my turn. And I hit. And I do 5 more damage. I'm rolling terribly for my damage.
Wow.
What?
I don't know. You might actually kill this thing.
Round 3.
Well, we're only
This
supposed
is
to
where
go.
I die.
We're only supposed to go 3 rounds anyway.
No, I think we can go up to 4. We have 4+ rounds on our reward chart, I think.
Okay, I'm doing that
Doesn't matter. I think I'm about to die though.
flame ability again. All right, there we
Oh,
go.
that hits me.
There we go. 3d6.
Oh, I think I'm dead.
Fire.
Yeah, okay. That got me.
And John is dead.
But
And
I
he
survived to round 3.
And he enjoyed it because he likes fire spells. He just told us earlier.
That's true. But we haven't had one of these rewards in a really long time. And that is a magic item.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this could be fun. Well, let's find out what we get. 37. Magic table A.
Something
Let's see
stupid.
what we get. Magic table A sucks, so it's not going to really matter. I got a spell scroll for a cantrip. That's a terrible reward. Let's find out what cantrip it is. Damn it. Magic table A, you suck. All right. Generate scroll. Oh, I need to select cantrip. Because let's go back down to 0. All right. A firebolt. Great.
Ooh.
That's so exciting. You know, that's actually really fitting though.
Yeah, it ties into everything.
All right.
I think you get a level up too, don't you?
No, that's if you survive 2 rounds. I survived 3. So I would have had to go 4 to get that. Scroll. Cantrip. Scroll. Firebolt. All right, cool. I feel like that's cool, I guess, for loot in a normal game, maybe. Not so great in this thing. I can't really use it for anything, but hey, whatever.
Well, that ends another episode for us. Thanks for watching and or listening. By the time this episode releases, John will have his second book out.
That's true. I have one right here.
There it is. So, Trials of Ashmount you can get now, and Buzzard's Bowl will be available now as you're listening to this. So pick it up. He's been winning some awards and getting lots of good reviews, so help him out.
That would be awesome. Thank you, everyone.
And as for me, can go to Grimdark Fiction Readers and Writers Facebook page, and as I mentioned before, I'm going to try to Might already be uploaded by the time you hear this. I don't know. I'm gonna be talking about Final Fantasy more and some other games, probably talking about some of my board games behind me soon. So if you're into games, got a lot of that down the wire, and then we'll be doing the podcast as well. So thank you. Take care.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.